is a preliminary to what 2017 will look like. You will have, if a governor today can walk out of court and boldly declare in the presence and the glare of the cameras and the TV that I've left this house and I'm joining this, and declare that while I was there, my people went hungry. While I was there was no water in my constituency.
Democracy.
While I was there, I was lied to that this will happen, and yet nothing happened. But then I've come to the government, because even when I was there, I approached the government and I knocked the door. Let me remind you, Willis.
There were no governors.
Proverbially, we who are Africans know that the man that brings bread home is the father. It doesn't matter who sired that kid, but the man who brings bread home rightfully should be called the father. So in this particular situation, ule baba tunaita baba haleti mkate. He has let the people just swallow salivas like he does. So let them just come over and let's move this government forward. Okay, let's move this government forward.
The issue of Mathare is really troubling my brothers in Jubilee, and is more than that. It's about the deputy party leader in ODM. The Mathare rally was not, it wasn't impromptu, it was planned before. And there are a series of them coming up almost every week in celebrations of ODM at 10. And what bothers this gentleman most is the strength and vigor of the deputy party leader of ODM, and we want to tell them that they are here to see fireworks. The party leader has given full mandate, blessings, goodwill, powers to his deputies, to the functionaries within the party, to comb every corner of this country, mobilize, reinvigorate the support from the ground, the grassroots, every corner of this country. And I know that our brothers are trying to, bring a stop to this momentum and trying to have personal attacks on the deputy party leader. This is not going to work. We promise them more fireworks in the coming days. We'll be in Eldoret, we'll be in Kisumu, we will be in Wajir. The other one was just a fundraising. Right, we'll be in every corner of this country, and ably led by the youngsters today in the party.
Right, of course, we don't want to delve so much into the Joe issue, because that's what will be discussed in church later on with Freddie Dimuli, and I'm coming up on, we are running out of time, but I'll just allow Kamau also to respond to what's been happening. CORD says they want to fill joint candidates, and recently we saw what would be an indication of what will happen with the nomination exercise, and I want even the aspirants to answer this, because they're going to face that nomination headache, if I may call it, later on. We saw Cecily Mbarire and Lenny Kibuti, a tussle there based on a MOU that was signed, and who is going to stand for what position. Maybe you talk about that, and then allow David, Frank, and even Silas to talk about that as well, because they also want to start building joint candidates.
Before I talk about that, I want to say, my brother has said that they are celebrating ODM at 10. I think it's ODM at nothing. If you take into perspective those people who formed that party and those people who have remained at that party, so I think their celebration is at nothing. Now, as far as party primaries are concerned, when you see people fighting in a party, this is friendly fights, like it has happened in Embu County. This shows you that these parties are strong. Whoever gets the nomination for Jubilee, say even in Roysambu, where my brother Mwendani is vying, you are guaranteed to get that position. So as we move forward towards party nominations, you'll be seeing more of those friendly fights within both divides of the party coalition, that is called, and Jubilee. But for us, Jubilee, we are more organized in how we carry out our nominations, how we go about our business, unlike our brothers who are known to do who are known to do business with their nomination process. So as we go forward towards election, you'll be seeing more or less of fights within both coalitions.
But you think these fights are anchored on the democracy?
Yeah, that's democracy. What we can't allow is violence escalating to violence where people fight or incite people on the ground to fight.
All right, David, you're going to be coming up against
ODM. No, let me first fix this. ODM at 10 celebrating nothing. You see, impure characters cannot survive in an environment of purity, Willis. The tenets of ODM, the reasons for which it was created, are too solid that most of these characters could not handle. They just had to shape out because they couldn't shape up. That said, I think you and I know that ODM has had 10 years going alive and strong. Each time these affiliate parties, you know very well, TNA never had even nominations. I mean, elections for us to even elect their leaders. They can't handle. And whenever they have been faced by the task of carrying out an election within themselves, they quickly fold up, start another party. Fold up, start another party. PNU, now URP and the rest, they couldn't do it. So they've folded up to start Jubilee Party. They can't do it. We are sometimes faulted for doing it with a few glitches and hitches. But we do it all the same. And we do it well. And so I said, we have no issues. The party leader has said he supports the call by the deputy CORD leader. And that, I mean, in the fullness of time, we will come to an agreement on what to do. And we will do it so shockingly well. Yeah.
All right. Willis, I want to reiterate what my party leader said the other day in Narok, that Jubilee as a house is in order.
Well, he said a lot of things in Narok.
I want to remind on that one particular issue.
Okay.
That Jubilee Party is in order. And that he invites CORD and ODM to organize its house,
right,
so that we can engage at par. Recently, we had the Jubilee Party launch. The same Kasarani where we had the 15,000 delegates meeting, the same Kasarani where we had 150,000 sitting to the Jubilee Convention, the same Kasarani that OGM once upon a time tried to have its few numbers of 2,300 sitting to have an NDC, a delegates convention. And what was the aftermath, or rather what was sired in that scenario, was the Men in Black. A situation where, as a Democrat, as a person who respects and upholds the Constitution of Kenya, I would really hate to see the same party that pretends to organize itself, but invite infighting through Men in Black, given a mandate to run this nation without that proper organization. If ODM today sits with Wiper and Ford Kenya and agree on forming a larger and more accommodative space to play their politics, it will be a new beginning for this nation. It will be a new light in the politics of today, Willis. And we as Jubilee, we want to compete fairly. We want to have a competitor who is worth a proper competition. We don't want to be in a situation where we are competing with people who are already disorganized. It will reduce the spaces and opportunities that Kenyans would have to exercise their political right under the Constitution. So let them organize themselves. We have the advisor here. Go back to your party leader. Advise your party leader to really accept what Kalonzo has proposed, what Wetangula has proposed. And therefore, when you guys are properly organized, let's meet one-on-one in the ground, and let's Kenyans enjoy those political spaces rightfully, Willis.
Silas.
Willis, Kenya is a growing democracy, and ODM has been a key player in propelling this growth and deepening of democratic practices. ODM is the only political party in Kenya that has consistently and has precedented history of carrying out grassroots elections of party officials, not once, not twice. Okay?
10 years.
10 years. Yeah, the only party in Kenya that has a track record of carrying out grassroots-based party elections is ODM. The only party that has ever taken the risk is ODM. And moving on to the issue of CORD, what Jubilee has achieved to do in the past month or so is to stifle democracy and take the country several steps backwards in terms of multipartism and deepening of democracy by having all parties dissolve. In CORD, and back to what they were saying, there seemed to be a meeting of the minds at the principals level, and even the entire system of the three parties that constitute CORD, that we will go for joint primaries. And with this, we will not be witnessing what happened in my brother's backyard. Is it Embu? Fox fighting. At the CORD level, when the time comes, we will possibly go for joint primaries, where every party, we believe in strengthening of individual parties, and that way CORD becomes stronger. Ford Kenya will field a candidate, Wiper will field a candidate, ODM will field a candidate, then whoever becomes the winner flies the CORD ticket. That way, CORD as a coalition, as a party, as a change movement, will be strongly rooting for deepening of democratic processes and good governance in the country, and actually promoting multipartyism instead of stifling it, like my brothers here. So there is space in CORD. There is more space in CORD for everyone.
And you can't buy democracy.
On a point of information, before you close, on a point of information, currently Kenya has 62 registered political parties. That is, even after we in Jubilee have merged 12 of those parties. I've merged 12 of those parties. Under Section 11 of the Political Parties Act, I've merged other 12 parties. Now, if you're talking about more than 50 political parties, Willis, let's be honest to ourselves and to Kenyans. How is Jubilee stifling a democratic space, whereas Kenyans have 50 choices of political parties to join in?
All right, well, of course, this is
you can't buy democracy, Willis. You know, this is the problem of Jubilee. They're trying to buy democracy. You end up with delegates who you ask, Jubilee, they say pesa. Because you're trying to buy democracy. It can't work for so long.
All right. Of course, you're hard pressed for time, but let's allow you, since you're the last one to come, your final thoughts.
Thank you so much. This guy's democracy or multipartyism is having briefcase parties all over the country. Why are you scared when Jubilee or other parties come together? Not buys out. You have a receipt for any party that was bought. When parties come together and agree to forge ahead, I think this is the second attempt since 1960. Since 1960s, when we had KANU and KADU. This is another attempt of having stronger parties, not parties that are rooted in tribalism or in certain backyards. So for our brothers in CORD, I know you have that fear that coming together, there are some people who are going to be lost in the process. But you should not be afraid. Jubilee is here, and we are ready for you to show you how democracy can work, having more parties coming together.
All right, of course, thank you so much. I'd like to say thank you to the panelists, David Osiang, who's an aspirant in Rongo constituency, Kamau Hill, who just joined us, the MCA for Karura Ward, and Frank Wendani at the end, who's an aspirant for Roysambu, and of course, Silas Jakakiba, who is the advisor to the Raila Odinga Secretariat. It's an interesting conversation that we'll continue having, obviously, because politics is definitely here with us, and hopefully we'll have this